Hey guys, welcome back to Aquaz. This week we've got a big change up happening in the fish room with the 150. We originally were going to go with the pistos in this one, but things have changed and the idea for the tank has changed. No, that's not going to work. Cue intro. So we're in the car. What are we doing? Well, we are going to our local pet chain and we're going to get some aquascaping supplies ready to set up the 150. How are we doing that? Gift cards. Obviously my birthday in June, you would have seen with the discus video, and I got some pretty cool presents from family members, which were gift cards for that chain. So going to use them. Awesome idea. That's going to cover the whole setup for this tank, so let's get it. So we're back. What's the big surprise? What are we doing? Well, as you can see up here, my white clouds have thrived in the little 40 litre planted tank, the little experiment that I had going. It does have a small little filter hang on the back running off it, but that's just mainly for water flow. These guys have started breeding like crazy, clearly loving the tank. So with the empty 150, what I've decided to do is replicate that tank, but do it on steroids, if you want to say, with a 150 and try and start a large breeding colony. I'll leave the adults in the 40 to keep going with what they're doing. They're clearly happy. And then as the fry get a little bit larger, we'll transfer them over into the tank once it's up and running properly. So what did we get? First thing I got was a brand new unseated sponge filter, nice little one. I got plenty of air lines and things, so that one there, and I'll run another seated one that I've already got in that tank to kickstart it, but we'll still leave that, let the plants establish themselves before we think about transferring any fish over. The fry are still pretty small. I've got sort of medium size, tiny ones, and then very tiny babies in there, so still got plenty of room and we've got time. So the sponge filter was first. That was a nice cheapie, but that'll do just to keep that going. So the next thing I went with was driftwood. I've got a couple of pieces here that we're going to try and suss out an aquascape with. These haven't been floated or sunk, so there may be tannins that'll come out of these. That's fine. As the tank slowly progresses and the plants establish and a couple of water changes down the track, they'll slowly come out of the water, but that's not a big issue at the moment while we get the tank up and going. So the next thing I got was a check valve for the two sponges. These things are imperative. I have lost pumps before with not using these. Water's backed into the pump and cooked it, so Super important. Grab check valves for airlines. Super cheap, and will save your pumps, I'm sure, down the track. So with the substrate, I went two things. I went with the Golden Pearl Aquarium Gravel from Pisces. Positive I used this one in the 40 litre. I'm going to do it again. I've got a little bit more left over in the smaller bag, and this one will go on top of the next one we got, which was Aqualat by Oliver Knott. Now, I haven't used this one before. I have used Oliver Knott's Aqua Earth in my 6 foot and in the 40 litre planted tank. That stuff has been amazing. I can't see why this isn't going to work either. You can join the two together, but they didn't have the Aqua Earth I was chasing on the day I went down to the pet shop. But now this one can be used on its own as a fertilizer as well, so it says on the packet. As I said, I've never used it, so we're going to give this a try, and then obviously we'll chuck the aquarium gravel over the top. I've been brought unstuck with not putting enough top substrate over things like the Aqua Earth. You'll notice in previous videos in the 40 litre, the actual Aqua Earth has come up through the top substrate, and the same in the sand substrate on the 6 foot tank. The same thing happened. I just didn't put enough sand on top and it's come through. So, but you know, you live and learn, and little mistakes. I'll try not to do the same thing again, but no doubt I probably will. I'll be trying my hardest not to. So I stuck with similar plants that I have in the 40 litre, a couple of changes, but I was super stoked with how they're going in that small tank and with the plants that are in them. So I stuck with pretty similar. Went with the Embulia, again, 3 of. These are amazing. I've pretty much seen these, the white clouds turn these into spawning mops pretty much. What a great plant. Look amazing. So we've gone with that. Then we went with another one that pretty similar with, which is Tilanthra. Sorry about my pronunciation. I'm not the best with these plants, but this guy's the red one. They've taken off in that 40 and they look amazing and give you a bit of change of colour, so we're going to go with that one. So for a change up in the background as well, I've gone with some Blue Stricta. I haven't used this plant very much. A long time ago. I haven't used it recently, so we're going to give this one a go, and hopefully this is going to create a nice background and more hiding spots for the white clouds once they get in. And the last one that I went with was the Dwarf Gold Rush. This one reminds me of hairgrass. It's a little bit, the stems on it's a little bit harder, so I've never used this plant before, so this one will be interesting. We'll see how it goes. Try and make this the foreground plant, the one at the front. I've got 3 of them. We'll stack them across and we'll see how these guys take off. So yeah, pretty exciting. So guys, there you go. We've got all our supplies and we're ready to start setting up this 150. This will be the end of the first video, part 1 of the White Clouds large community tank. Stick around for part 2, we'll be straight into that. And with the interview video, there's a few things that have come up. That video is coming, I'm just not going to promise dates. So if you don't want to miss it, it will come up on the random. Hit that subscribe button. If you want to see part 2 and are looking forward to it and don't want to miss it, hit that notification bell, and I'll be seeing you next week. See ya. So there's some pretty cool ones there. Thanks for the photo, Bob Masher. Off the bench.